Hello everyone. We are going to read this chapter, Understanding Diversity. So before starting this chapter, we would know the exact meaning of diversity. We often connect this diversity with lot of misunderstandings, like diversity leads to lot of conflicts. It doesn't create the sense of unity, and it doesn't allow people to mingle with their own society. And whenever we talk about diversity, it the questions like why are we not living in the society of one kind, like the people of our own community are living around. We often come with these questions, but is it really beneficial? Is it what are the advantages of living in a diverse country like India, which is most diverse, which is the country with a lot of diversity of language, cultures, and of different religions. And diversity arises from geographical areas. Like if the people, like it has many factors. One of them is geographical area. If the person is living in the coastal area, his lifestyle would be different, and the people living in the mountains, their lifestyle would be different. So, and one of the reasons is because of different religions they follow. And this diversity has arisen, like in India people came and settled here. They, because of the migration, they settle to the new places, and they follow their own customs over there. And the old and the new customs combine, and the new culture is arised from that. So like this, different kind of diversities have emerged throughout in India and in whole world. So we would look at the meaning of diversity and ignore that diversity is not inequality. Inequality is something very different. Like if the opportunities and resources are not available, that is called inequality. But diversity is something which makes a strong, which makes the nation strong. And let's understand it better. Next slide. Okay, so here is one activity to understand the diversity at a very small level. Uh, in the classroom only, you can see a lot of diversity amongst yourself. Every individual is different in their own sense. They speak different language, they have different family, they have different food choices, they wear different clothes, different economic backgrounds, different caste, different religions, etc., etc. So in the class, you may look at your friends who are wearing different clothes and who speak different kind of languages. So here is one activity. These three students have drawn three drawings, and they are very different. One has drawn one girl, one boy, and the other has drawn one girl. So these are the drawings which are inspired from the mindset of those children. They think that these drawings are like he has drawn this boy because he might be a boy. He thinks that drawing a girl, like a girl might have drawn this doll. So three children around your age have drawn the figures above. Use the empty box to draw your human figures. Is your drawing similar to any of the others? Now you have to draw one drawing and compare it with your classmates. Is it same or is it different, and what kind of differences are there? Try to connect with your surrounding, how they are inspired. Like you have drawn this thing, you have drawn these kind of clothes, and what inspired you to draw these kind of clothes? The chances are that your drawing is quite different from other three, which you can see are quite different from each other. This is because each one of us has a unique drawing style. We not only we not only don't look exactly like each other, but also differ in terms of the language we speak, our cultural backgrounds, the religious rituals we observe, and of course the way we draw. So you see, we are different in every way. and this is what is diversity. And the real essence of diversity is that you get to learn about different cultures, different kind of languages, different religious rituals, which might which interest us to live in the society. Imagine if we are living in a society where the people uh, wear the same kind of clothes, eat the same food, and have the same kind of people around us. So, would you enjoy living in that society? Of course not. You want the different things to be around you that surprises you. You want to experience the new cultures, new kind of food, new kind of language, new kind of everything. So that is what the diversity appeals to us, giving us the chances to experience the new things. Next slide. And now, after drawing your uh, painting, now ask your teacher to help you check how many of you have similar answers. Is there anyone whose list matches your exactly? Probably not, but many of you may have similar answers. How many like reading the same kind of books? How many different languages are spoken by the students in your class? By now, you must have recognized the many ways in which you are quite like some of your classmates and other ways in which you are different from them. So now you have to ask your teacher to segregate the answers. So you would notice that a very few answers match. Like each student have different choice in books, in the language they speak, the food choice. So everything is different. You see, and now making friends. Here is one story which actually tells us that how the people from two diverse cultures or from diverse backgrounds can become friends. Starting, do you think it would be easy for you to make friends with someone who was very different from you? Read the following story and think about this. I had meant it as a joke made up for a small ragged boy who sold newspaper at the Janpat crossing at the busy intersection. Every time I cycled past, he would run after me, holding out the English paper and screaming out the evening's headline in a mixture of Hindi and English words. This time I stopped by the pavement and asked for the Hindi paper. His mouth fell open. So we can make out that this story is about a boy who sells newspaper, and like it deals with two people, and further on we would say that their names are also same. So we would try to analyze that how these two people are different and how they become friends gradually. Next slide. You mean you know Hindi? He asked. Of course, I said as I paid for the paper. Why? What did you think? He paused. But you look so Angrez, he said. You mean you can even read Hindi? Of course I can, I said, this time a little impatiently. I can speak, read, and write Hindi. Hindi is one of the subjects I study in school. Subjects? He asked. How could I explain what a subject was to someone who had never been to school? Well, it is something, I began, but the lights changed and the honking behind me grew 100-fold, pushed along with the river. So this boy sells newspaper, and the other boy crosses the road, and he like once the boy who crosses the road on the bicycle, he's on the bicycle. He asks for a Hindi newspaper. Then the other boy crosses the road, and he asks for a Hindi newspaper. Then the boy know that he's asking for the Hindi newspaper. So fair in complexion, so then he can speak, he can read, he can write Hindi. Then the newspaper selling boy don't like he didn't know the subject. And until then, the traffic red green light is on and they move on. The next day, he was there again, smiling at me and holding out a Hindi paper. भैया, he said, आपका अखबार अब बैठिए, ये सब्जेक्ट क्या चीज़ है, अब बताइए ये सब्जेक्ट क्या चीज़ है. The English word sounded strange on his tongue. It sounded like its other meaning in English, to be ruled by someone else. Oh, it's just something to study, I said. And then, because the red light had come on, I asked him, have you ever been to school? Never, he answered. And he added proudly, I began working when I was so high. He measured himself against my cycle seat. First, my mother used to come with me, but I can do it all alone. Where is your mother now? I asked. But then the lights changed and I was off. I heard him yell from somewhere behind me, she's in merit with, the rest was drowned out. So the next day they meet again and the boy holds the Hindi paper again, and then he continued to ask that what is a subject. He explains that it's something that we study in schools, and it sounded all an alien thing to him. And just imagine what would that boy must have felt knowing that okay, there is something like school also. So, and moving on, my name is Samir, he said the next day, and very shyly he asked, what's yours? It was incredible. My bicycle wobbled. My name is Samir too, I said. What? His eyes lit up. Yes, I grinned at him. It's another name for Hanuman's father, So now you're Samir Ek and I'm Samir Do, he said triumphantly. Something like that, I answered, and then I held out my hand. Haath milao Samir Do. His hand nestled in mine like a little bird. I could still feel its warmth as I cycled away. So this is such a coincidence. Those two boys have the same common name, Samir. So the difference is that one is a Muslim and one is a Hindu. And then he says that Samir, the Hindu one says, Samir Ek actually, who is on the bicycle, says that it's the name of the father of Hanuman. And then they shake hands, they become friends. So we see here that even though these two friends are quite different, are from two diverse backgrounds. One's economic condition isn't that good, one is from other religion, one is from other, and one is selling the newspaper, one is going to school. Their language is also different. The Samir one knows English as well, whereas Samir though just knows Hindi, his local language. Next slide. The next day he did not have his usual smile for me. There is trouble in Meerut, he said. Many people are being killed there in the riots. I looked at the headlines, communal riots, it blazed. But Samir, I began, I'm a Muslim Samir, he said in answer. And all my people are in Meerut. His eyes filled with tears, and when I touched his shoulder, he would not look up. He was not at the crossing he was not at the crossing the day after, neither the day after nor ever again. And no newspaper in English or Hindi can tell me where my Samir Do has gone. So we see the emotional part of the story here that these two friends get separated because they are from different religions. And the Samir Do, who is a Muslim, is facing a lot of being killed in the riots, communal riots, basically, like because of the he is very terrified and his eyes are filled, and he has, I think, gone back to Meerut to his family. So we see that these two backgrounds, how the friendship is should see his religion or his economic background before shaking the hands with him. Next slide. Okay, so this is it from our end, and we hope that you observe the diversity around you and make a note of it, how the diversity helps you to know more and more. And it's a good thing that in India we experience such a uh, large variety of people, of everything, of culture. So we'll continue it further. Thank you. Have a nice day.